Okay. Hello everybody. Hello. I hope you are fine wherever you are. Yes, my name is Jerry Timkulu. I'm the Acca tutor at Transfer Consulting Services, Premium Acca School in town. Okay, this is a premium Acca School in town. And in this week's lecture, we are going to take you through job, batch, and process costing. And our objectives are as follows. Okay, with regards to job costing, we are going to tackle two issues: a description of the characteristics of job costing, calculation of unit costs using job costing. And then we move on to batch costing, where we'll be describing the characteristics of batch costing and then calculating the unit cost using batch costing. Again, then lastly, we're going to check our process costing, and our objectives would be to describe the characteristics of process costing, calculate unit costs using process costing, describe and illustrate the concept of equivalent units for closing work and profit, calculate unit costs whether it's closing work and profit, and then allocate process costs between finished output and work in progress. And also, we have to know how to prepare process accounts. Although in most of our examinations, we are not going to be asked to prepare an account because of the nature of the examination, where we should tested using the multiple choice question. So there's no way we are going to be asked, but we need to know how the process account is going to be prepared. So that's what we're going to do, so that in the exam you might be given that account and we are able to interpret what it means. Alright, so let's move on. Job costing. Job costing is where a unique item is being made and the cost can be specifically traced into that item. It is the costing method used where each cost unit for a job is separately identified. Ladies and gentlemen, please be comfortable with the definition of job costing, because it is going to come in examination, and the examiner might ask you, can you please identify from the following statements which one is the definition of job costing? And you mustn't be found wondering or maybe lost or beating about the bush. Okay, you must not be found wondering. So please, this is the definition of job costing. A job is a cost unit. Remember we talked about the cost unit. Okay, a cost unit. You still remember a cost unit. This is a product or service to which costs can be related. Costs can be related. And we also emphasize that a cost unit is not the unit cost of a product or service. It is not the unit cost. So don't confuse yourself with a unit cost of a product when you are required to define what a cost unit is. So those are very different items. Okay, so a cost unit is actually a product, and in this case it is a job. Okay, it is a job. So and we also when we were discussing in our introductory lectures the cost of a product. Okay, the cost of a product, we said that it should constitute it should constitute direct materials, okay, direct materials. We also talk of direct labor and some overheads, okay, production overheads, right? All these constitute the cost of a product. We are going, you discover that we are going to use this same format in all these three costing methods, that is job, batch, and process. We are going to be using this same format in some way or another, okay? So please feel comfortable, just settle in so that we move together. Alright, so a job is a cost unit which consists of a single order or contract. The job could be large, such as building a house or a ship, or small, such as constructing a set of shelving for a roof. Other jobs are given identifying numbers, such as contract numbers or simply job numbers. So you might find an example that a particular job, let's say job number 2808 was in relation to the service of a sport lecture or the service of a computer, etc. Alright? All relevant costs are labeled with that number and the total cost can be accumulated. Alright, material costs. Either invoices for specially bought material or requisition from stores can be labeled with the job number so that material cost can be accounted. So whichever cost that is ended, be it material, be it labor, as I've indicated here, be it labor, be it overhead, whichever which was relating to this particular job should be labeled with the same job number so that auditors, when they come, or managers, when they want to validate the cost of the job, they can easily relate particular documents. So this is why we are saying that a job is also a cost unit, because it is a product to which it is a product or service to which costs can be related. Labor costs, we can use timesheets, okay, which have been filled by people who have been partaking in a particular job. Other expenses, if direct, then the job number will be noted against that cost. If indirect, then expenses are often charged to a job on a basis of time and an overhead absorption rate. So that's the background, but we need to get into detail by using an example. So we're giving that example, job 73, which required 20 kg of the material in stores, which cost $50 per kg, and also a special component, which has been bought at a cost of $150.3. Okay, at a cost of $150. Okay, at a cost of $150. Then 30 hours labor was spent on the job, where the employees were paid at $9 per hour. In addition, 3 hours were spent by a supervisor who is paid at $15 per hour. Overheads are absorbed at the rate of $4 per labor hour. And the question is saying, calculate the total absorption cost of the job. And please do not be intimidated by the term absorption cost, because when we are talking of absorption cost, we are considering direct materials, direct labor, as well as overheads, production overheads. Why? Because we know at this level that absorption costing refers or takes into consideration both variable costs, and these are the variable costs we are talking about, as well as fixed, the overheads, the fixed costs. So this absorption cost is different from its counterpart, the marginal costing. Marginal costing only takes into consideration the variable element, but absorption takes both the variable as well as the fixed. Okay, so let us calculate this particular job's costs using the absorption costing method. So we can just easily come up and label this job with this number, that is job 73, we underline, and we say that we come up with a table that is got the quantity, unit price, as well as the dollar sign. Okay, please get my handwriting, forgive it. Alright, so we've got materials. Like I said, we are going to use these. We are going to use these formats normally throughout the lecture, with using the material, direct labor, overhead, etc. in most of the examples. So material, let us go back again to the scenario. We are told that this job required 20 kgs of materials, okay, 20 kgs of materials in store. So this material is from store. Okay, let me just erase a bit because okay, I need more space. So let me just start right from this far edge. Okay.
Try to nurture you, do what you want me to, but everything I change up, you got me so confused.
Okay,
to do you right, but still we cuss and fight. Hidden neighbors banging on the wall every night. After shouting and screaming, be a little while.
How much?
He is close, no one hear me cry. Send me out the one who mash up your life.
Alright, 20
and know me know the
kgs,
deed
and
is
the
on me
unit
shut
price
me
was 15 from the question. That's $15 per kg. Okay, and we say 20 multiplied by 15, that's you get 300. Then we move on to other materials. There is a special component from the question. There is a special component which has been bought for 150. This component is very special, and just one component, and 150. Then multiply by 1, that's 150. We then have we should have some materials there. Then we are told that the materials they are only from store, the special component. So we move on to the labor part. There is basic labor. The question there, we are told that 30 hours labor was spent on the job where employees were paid at $9 per hour. So 30, okay, 30 hours, right, multiplied by $9 per hour, and you get 270. You then have to consider the supervisor's wage, and the supervisor is paid for 3 hours. Because we are told that in addition 3 hours was spent by supervisor, who is paid at the rate of 3 hours at the rate of $15, because we are told here that $15 per hour. So we get 45 here. Alright, then we have to worry about the overhead. The overhead. Now, for the overhead, this is where we need to be very, very, very careful. Okay, the overheads we are told here, I need okay, we are told here, overheads are absorbed at the rate of $4 per labor hour. Okay, but we need to ask ourselves, so how many hours are we talking about? The hours information we have been given is this one. There were 30 hours for the employees and also 3 hours for the supervisor. So the overheads should be 30 plus 3, that is 33. Okay, 33, and at the rate of $4 per hour. Then we get 132. We then have to add up these figures, and we get our 897. Alright, so that's the total cost, the total absorption cost of the job. I'm sure you have been following this part where now job costing and computerization. Job cost cards exist in manual systems, alright. In many companies who are still manually based, they use what are called job cost cards to record everything. But with the invention of technology these days, you would see that all these costing systems are now being done electronically using modern costing systems or software which are found in the computer. So this part is only about your appreciation of what is happening in the business world. You need just look around and familiarize yourself with what is happening in the computer world, computerized accounting issues and so forth. So let us move on there. Now, the first example in relation to job costing, which is meant to actually sensitize us on more complex questions the examiner might ask if he wants to be more pedantic. So we need just to be very, very observant and very careful. Okay, so let's go through the Kadinga example. Alright, Kadinga Co. is a company that carries out jobbing work in all. One of the jobs carried out in May was job XZ93. Remember, these job numbers depends on the company. And if you still remember on our initial lecture where we talked about management information, is just management. It's just information which is internal to the organization, which is specific to the organization. That's how management accounting is different from financial accounting, which is regulated by international accounting standards. But when you are checking of management accounting, this is information that is only structured to particular entities and the way they are numbering their job, even if it's for servicing cars, for example. You may discover that in one company or one garage, for example, Prcocess Motors, they get their way of numbering jobs. But when you go to pools and pay and other like the byweight, etc., or these wheels, tiger wheels and so forth, the way they do their costing, their jobbing, the way they number those jobs is just different. Okay, because management accounting information is just entity specific for the internal stakeholders of that company. So this particular job for Kadinga Co, alright, has been numbered XZ93. Do not ask the examiner, why are you putting that number? It's so awkward. No, that's not what you have to do. What you have to do is just to mind your own business and just do the computation and follow the instructions that is given so that you earn your marks and go home. Okay? Now we are told that the direct material Y. Okay, direct material Y. This is the name of that material. Don't think it is the shortcut of Y. No, that's not it. Okay, that's not it. I just have to emphasize because you guys get so crazy. Okay, I just highlight. I just trying to emphasize as a tutor so that my students won't actually make unnecessary blunders on the exam day. So the direct material in this case is Y, and on this the information is that 400 kilos were issued. Okay, 400 kilos were issued from the store at a cost of $5 per kilo. Then direct material Z, 800 kilos were issued from stores at a cost of $6 per kilo. $6 were returned to stores. So this is the information you have to consider. Okay, you have to consider as you read. All right. Then Department P, 300 labor hours were worked, of which 100 hours were overtime. Then Department Q, 200 labor hours were worked, of which 100 hours were overtime. And we talked about these overtime issues in our previous week's lecture, and I'm sure you still remember what we talked about these direct costs and indirect costs, overtime, basic pay, this and that. You still have that one in mind. I know, because hey, I emphasize that. Okay, overtime work is not normal in Department P, where basic pay is $6 per hour plus overtime premium of $1 per hour. Alright, so they're being given $6 per hour plus overtime of $1 per hour. So when you work overtime, you get your basic $6 plus a premium of $1. Alright? Per hour. Now, overtime work was done in Department Q made because of the request by a customer of another job to complete his job quickly. So this was for Department Q, it was just overtime for another job, not for this particular job. So that's the type of information here just where they say, hey, that one is irrelevant for this particular job, okay? Basic pay in Department Q is $8 per hour and overtime premium $50 per hour. Overheads are from at the rate of $50 per labor hour in both departments. Now, we are required to calculate on again to calculate the direct material cost of job XZ93. So let us just do that one straight away. Okay. So for part I, now direct materials. Okay. Direct materials for what? We are told that this job, this material, this job requires 400 kgs, 400 kilos, okay, and 400 kgs, and they cost $5 per kg, alright, that's the cost for the question. So we put our dollar sign here, we can see that this gives us 2,000 baht. Then we have to worry about direct material for the job requires both Y, material Y and material Z. So for Z now, we are told that it requires, 800 kilos were issued, but 60 were returned. Okay, 60 kgs were returned, and each kg is how much? Is $6. Okay, that's $6. Right, we are told that these guys, they require $6 per kilo. So that's, if you use your calculator, you can see that only 740 kgs were used, multiplied by 6, and we get 4,440. Right, so what is the total direct material cost? You just have to add up the figures and get 6,440. Then we go to B, part B, calculate the direct labor cost for job XYZ. You now move on to labor issues, so you can go by departments. Okay, so department B, that's how many hours are we talking about there? For department P, we are told 300 labor hours were worked. Okay, of which 100 hours were overtime. So of these 300 hours which were worked, 100 were overtime. So let us just calculate the basic pay for this particular department. So that's 300 multiplied by $6 because they are paid $6. Okay, if you go here, overtime is not normal in Department P, where basic pay is $6 per hour. Okay, so this is why we put the $6 there. Okay, and you can put as well a dollar sign and your 1.8 here. Then Department Q, alright, how many hours were worked? 200 hours were worked, of which 100 hours were overtime. Alright, so that's 200. The basic multiplied by 8. Alright, and you get 1.6. So what is the total direct labor cost. This should be 3,400. Look properly there.
When me see your eyes, don't have to ask me twice. My body aches for you, you got me hypnotized. Love hot like spice, like the first
overtime premium, okay, overtime premium should be charged to overhead in the case of department P and to the job of the customer who asked for overtime work in the case of department Q. Alright, let me just write down statement because I know we might be having some challenges there. We are saying overtime because using your knowledge from the previous week's lecture, you may be confused and say, hey, what happened to overtime? Okay, so overtime premium will be charged to overheads. Okay, the overhead in the case of department P and
do what you want me to, but everything I change up, you got me so confused. Try to do you right, but still we cuss and fight. Hidden neighbors banging on the wall every night. After shouting and screaming for your little ears closed, no one hear me cry. Say me I the one who mash up your life, and know me know the deal, so me shut me eye. Me a stranger to you, say you know me, why you take me for a fool? Try control me if you could choose. You are one me to be just like you.
In the case of department Q, so if the customer insisted that, hey guys, I want you to work overtime, that one is not going to be considered an indirect cost, but it is going to be part of the direct cost for that particular job as part of the direct labor. Alright, so in this case, overtime premium will be charged. Here, will be charged to overhead in the case of department P. Why is it so? Because we are told that overtime work is not normal in department P, where best pay $6 per hour, plus overtime premium $10. Overtime work was done in department Q in May because of the request of the customer, and this and that. But let's go back to department P. 300 labor hours were worked, of which 100 hours were overtime, and in this particular department it is normal to pay overtime. It is not normal to pay overtime, so their overtime is going to be an indirect cost then. It is going to be an indirect cost. So this is why we are saying that it will come in the overhead. But our question only required us to calculate the direct labor, which is the direct cost only. So this is why we only consider the basic pay of that labor. Okay, the premium was not required at this question or in this question. Now, calculate the full production cost of the job. Here now, you can see that some of the overheads are going to be required. So let us now deal with the part C, which now requires the full production cost. So part C, we have already calculated the direct material cost from above, and we just have to slot in the figures. Okay, the material costs there was 6,440. Don't forget to put the dollar sign, and then we have to go to the direct labor. All right, direct labor. Okay, so direct labor costs We calculated this figure above. The direct labor was 3,400. Then production overhead. Production overhead. Production overhead in this case, we just have to be a bit okay. We are told try do my best work, could go to school. When you're interested, me I production overhead. You can't see me and all the good things me do. Overhead is to be absorbed at the rate of $2 per direct labor hour. Hence, we discussed in the first example, our first example on job costing, that we have to know how many hours we work. Okay? So we know from the question that there were 300 plus 200 hours which we work. So we use that figure, 300 plus 200, we get 500. Multiplied by the overhead absorption rate for labor hours, that's $3. So multiply by $3 and we get 1.5. So all the overheads we are worried about have been considered in this overhead absorption rate. So we then have to add up and get our figures. $340. That's going to be the total production, the full production cost of job XZ93. Done. So please, whenever you face a question in this regard, don't waver, just act like a man or a determined woman, so that just face the enemy and walk over. Alright, let's move on. There is also another example there. It is talking of job QB2, but we talk just the same day. So this is just meant to test you just the same figures we discussed about. So let's just move on. It's just the same as this question thing. Okay, it's just the same. So just have to play around with the figures there. Now, batch costing. A batch is a cost unit which consists of a separate, readily identifiable group of product units which maintains its separate identity throughout the production process. Batch costing is similar to job costing, that each batch of a similar article is separately identifiable. The cost per unit manufactured in a batch is the total batch cost divided by the number of units in the batch. In batch costing, several identical items are produced as a batch. So when we are talking of batch costing, we are referring to production processes like where's my pen now? Okay, like in shoe manufacturing. Okay, so shoes are usually produced in batches. Alright, so let's say you want to know the price of Butters Wayne Brenners which were produced in March. You just have to know their quantities in each particular batch. Just have to know how much or how many shoes are within a batch. So roughly they say that we have 5,000 shoes in every batch, 5,000 pairs of shoes. So and you then have to say how many costs have you incurred in that in each produce one batch. So they will tell you that hey, it costed us, let's say 100,000. So 100,000. So to find the cost per pair of shoes, then you have to divide by 5,000 and you get your cost per unit. It's very simple, isn't it? The cost of producing one shoe, then you have to divide the total cost over the units in a batch, and you get the cost per pair of shoes. I hope that you've been helped there. So let us just do this particular example before we jump on to the next issue. A company manufactures model cars and has the following budgeted overhead for period. Departments, budgeted overheads, budgeted activity. We've got welding, of which the budget overhead of which were 6,000 and the budgeted activity was 1,500 labor hours. So the labor hours which were budgeted for this was 1,500. Then assembly, it was 10,000 total. The total cost, the total overhead were $10,000, but the labor was 1,000. Selling it and administrative overhead at 20% of production cost. Production of 250 model cars, type B marks, made as batch 116B, incurred the following cost. So we are told that the production of 250 model car type B mark X costed, in terms of their materials, they were costing $12,000. And then labor which was involved was 100 hours, welding shop at $8 per hour, 200 hours, assembly shop at $9 per hour. So this information is what we call the actual, what occurred on the graph. And this was the budget. Okay, this is what is called the budget. Budget according to the budget, and then they've got the actual figures which occurred on the ground. The cost of hiring special extra equipment for testing the wells is $500. Now, the question requires us to calculate the cost per unit of the batch, and my students should be by now know that the cost per batch is determined by the total cost. Okay. Total cost of the batch divided by units in the batch. Total units. So that we get what is called cost per unit. Alright, so let's determine what will be going on. So let's do our workings there. Alright. The workings, that is total cost, batch. What is the batch number? Batch 116D. Okay, and we have got our $sign. Then we start as usual. We start with the direct materials. We are told in the question that they were 12,000 direct labor. That's 100 of labor, $8. Okay, because the labor there, we are told that they were 100 at $8 per hour.
But after caressing and hugging for a little while, you say something that I
so
changed
get
my mind.
how much?
No, me remember
Get
why you left
800.
last time, and everything they say of me I realize. How me
There
fight
could be
to
special
try do
or
my best work to
electricity.
go to school. When your interest me, I fool
Starting
for
to
you.
disconnect.
You can't see me and all the
Sorry.
good things me do.
Okay, and then move on to. So we are told there that there were 100. Okay, talk about these ones. Okay, these ones done. But we also 200 hours for assembly at $9 per hour. So let us talk of that. So that's 200 multiplied by $9 per hour. We get 1.8. So we add, we get 2.6. Please follow me. Then there was some direct expense there. A direct expense. Okay. It's a direct expense. It couldn't be made as a direct material or a direct labor. It was just some expense which we incurred to ensure that our production meets some specific requirements. So it was actually related to the production, but it can be classified as a direct material, direct labor. It was the testing of our welding rods to see if the welding job was done up to scratch. So we use some extra equipment there. We hired that equipment, so it becomes a direct expense. So you told the examiner there was direct expense. Okay, let's just say bracket X-ray. Okay, so the X-ray was costed us. Okay, X-ray costed us 500. So you add them up, add these figures, you get 15,100. So that one, we call that one prime cost. So what is prime cost? Prime cost is the total of direct material, direct labor, direct expenses. So that's prime cost. Alright, then let us go to overhead. The overhead. Okay, the overhead. Go back. Okay. Now, the overhead, we should actually be very, very careful. Here, we know we need to consider certain aspects here which are very, very important to us. Okay. When the examiner does not give us or is not clear as to whether we are going to use a specific overhead absorption rate, it is actually very, very prudent to just calculate the overhead absorption rates applicable to each department. Okay, so we know that overhead absorption rate, the overhead absorption rate is equal to budgeted cost. Budgeted cost over budgeted activity. Budgeted activity. Okay, so for the welding department, we can see that overhead absorption rate welding is equal to the total cost was $6,000, so $6,000 divided by
when me see your eyes, don't have to ask me twice.
1,500 labor hours, and we get a 4. Okay, then we do the overhead absorption rate for the assembly, and we get then we do total cost of 10,000 all divided by 10,000 all divided by 1,000. So you can see that the overhead absorption rate was $10. $10 out. So we take these figures, the 4 and the 10, and use them, and then use them with these figures. So the labor for the welding shop, as you can see here, was 100 hours. So 100 hours multiplied by $4 should lead us the overhead for that department. So the overheads, we get got 100 multiplied by 4, and then we have got 200 multiplied by 4. No, not multiplied by 4, but sorry. By this figure, like 10. Like 10. Okay, the 4 was used for welding. So that's used for assembly. So multiply by 10. Alright. So we get let's say cosine. So 100 multiplied by 4, that's 400. Okay. 400. So that's 2,000. So you can see that total overhead were 2,400. Total overheads were 2,400. Okay, and then we move on to so this one is now called, this 2,400 is what we call production. The 15,100 plus 2,400, that's what we call production. Production cost. So if we add up, it gets the production cost of 17,500. But then we have to consider, because the question wants us to calculate the cost per unit. Calculate the cost per unit for this particular batch. Alright. So we then have to consider other costs. Alright. The selling and administrative of 20,000. 20% of production cost. Then production of 206 models was this and that. So the selling and administrative overheads, we just worry about those ones for now. So because the question wants us to calculate the cost per unit, it is not clear whether the cost should be only the production cost per unit. Alright, sometimes the examiner wants you to calculate the ultimate cost after including everything. Alright, after including the production as well as the selling and administrative costs. So in this case, let us assume those ones are required because we are given the selling and administrative information here. So let us just consider those ones as relevant. So the selling and admin. And we are told that these are 20% of production cost. So if you had determined the production cost wrongly, you are going to fail. So you need to be very, very vigilant when you do your computations. So because some of the figures would be having some implications as you proceed forward. So the 20% of production cost, that is 20% of 17,500, and we get 3,500. You may also verify with your calculator to determine if we are on the same page. Okay, so total cost is equal to 21,000. That's the total cost of this bag. Now, the cost per unit, then you have to use the same formula, cost per unit, then just have to say total cost 21,000 divided by the number of units which have been produced. And we have been told in the question that the number of units were 250. So just have to slot in that figure and to get the answer. So 250 and you get $84. So the cost of producing 1 unit in this particular batch was $84. The cost of producing 1 car, including the selling and administrative expenses, was $84. But if the examiner had only said what is the cost of producing 1 unit, we would have used this figure. Okay, we would have used the production cost only, that is the 17,500 divided by the 250, and we get the cost of producing 1 unit. But in this case, this is the cost of doing everything, of producing as well as selling it. So please, you just have to be very careful with the weighting of the examiner. Alright? I hope at this juncture we have been well assisted. Before we move on to the process costing segment. Okay, the process costing segment. On this particular example, I just want you to do the work on your own. For now, we can just pause the video and then do it before we proceed to the process costing. Okay, so just try this. Just pause the video and try for yourself to see if everything you have discussed is actually sunk with you. Okay, now let us proceed together. We are given the information. Batch 9,999 used 2,000 kg of material in stores, which cost $10 per kg, and also 500 kg of special material that was bought in at $4 per kg. Okay, let us go through together and see where we can assist one another. Alright, because none of us should get lost along the way. Okay, so we are given this information. So what it means is we have to know the requirement set. The requirement set calculate the total absorption cost of the batch and each unit produced. So let us just do just that. So we know we have to come up with a table and make sure that the batch title or the batch number is well labeled or is clearly presented. So that's this is batch 999. Okay, that's our batch, and we've got quantity, we've got unit price, as well as our $sign at the end. Okay, now we have got materials. Okay, materials. There is material from stores. Alright, batch quad 9 used 2,000 kgs of material in stores. So we are told that This material's edge, it is overlapped into my collar. Just the rest that those is overlapped. Alright. Materials from those. That's 2000. And how much the kilo? We are told that that's $10. That's $10 per kilo. So this becomes 20,000. Then we've got MA1. There was also kgs or special material, so there is some special components. Special 100 kgs and how much? $4 kilo. So this comes to 1,000. 2,000. Then let's move on to the labor components. The labor. We've got department A and department B. So department A requires 90 hours. Okay, so that's 90. And the employees, they will pay $12 per hour. So it's 12 for 9 multiplied by 12. Department B, how much? How many hours they work there? What hours? And $10 per hour for the first time. So get 400. Then overhead. Please be careful about these overheads. Overhead will absorb the rest of $3 per hour. So just to calculate the number of hours, right now we now know how to do the thing, and we are going to use these two figures. We're going to use 90 and 40. The 90 plus 40, that's 130. So 130 at $3 per hour. So we got 390. So then if you add up and get our total absorption cost for the batch. So if you add up, you get your 23,870. If you come up with that, then I'm happy. I'm very glad you are listening to what we are saying here. So that was that, ladies and gentlemen, for the job as well as the batch costing. Alright, so let us now move on to the process costing. Wow, process costing is something we need to be comfortable. Alright, but for now we can just hang and work, and we'll continue in the next video. Thank you very much.